O you of good intent! Fifth, this sutra's unimaginable power for beneficial effect is this: whether during or after the lifetime of a Buddha, if there are men and women of good intent who accept, keep faith with, internalize, recite, and make records of this profound, peerless, all-varying, infinite-meaning sutra, even though such people may be caught up in delusive worldly passions and are not yet able to rise above common daily affairs, they will nevertheless be able to manifest a great dynamic of enlightenment, lengthening one day into 100 kalpas and abbreviating 100 kalpas into one day, thereby inspiring other living beings to become joyful and trusting. O you of good intent! These men and women of good intent will be just like a Naga's child that, at the age of only 7 days, is able to gather up the clouds and produce rain. O you of good intent! This is known as the inconceivable power of the fifth beneficial effect of this sutra. O you of good intent! Sixth, this sutra's unimaginable power for beneficial effect is this: whether during or after the lifetime of a Buddha, if men and women of good intent accept, keep faith with, and internalize and recite this sutra, although they themselves may have delusive and worldly passions, they nevertheless will expound the teachings for living beings, enabling them to overcome delusive worldly passions and the cycles of births and deaths, and put an end to all suffering. Living beings that practice after hearing them will grasp the Dharma, attain its fruits, and realize the way, no differently than if they were with the Buddha Tathagatas. Suppose there is a youthful and inexperienced prince. When the king, while traveling or due to ill health, entrusts this prince to manage the affairs of state, the prince, following the great king's instructions, then leads the government officials and the various ministries, governing justly and properly according to the laws of the land. And all of the country's citizens are at ease, following along in a manner no different than if it were the rule of the king. So it is with the women and men of good intent who keep faith in this sutra, whether during or after the lifetime of a Buddha. Even though unable to initially become steadfast in the stage of equanimity, these men and women of good intent, following the discourses given by the Buddha, expound the teachings and spread them far and wide. Living beings that practice wholeheartedly after hearing them will cast delusive worldly passions away, grasp the Dharma, attain its fruits, and realize the way. O you of good intent! This is known as the inconceivable power of the sixth beneficial effect of this sutra.